things could get very interesting here in the United States. So, guys, because we are now directly involved with the support of Israel in Iran, things could get interesting here. Now, a lot of people already know where I stand with the whole nonsense of the sleeper cell. Nonetheless, something could happen here, and we should be ready to rock and roll, and that's either run towards danger or run away from it. Either way, if something happens, you need to be Johnny on the spot. You need to keep your head on the swivel. You need to make sure you know where you are at any given time, and family members. So if you live in a city like New York, or you live in the outskirts of a city like New York, and your family members are coming into a city like New York, or a city period, you want to know that they're in a city. You want to make sure you know where they are at any given time. You want to have an emergency protocol should something happen. Now, what they are expecting to happen ranges from anywhere between an actual Mumbai-style attack where Iranian bad guys are strapped to the T, or strapped to the nines, if you will, with ammo, firearms, and taking people out in large, crowded areas like Times Square. Right? They're going there haphazardly, just plugging people away. There is that. There's also mention of supposedly air-to-surface missiles that made their way across the border. I don't believe that nonsense, but nonetheless, that's what they're saying. So there could be that kind of attack. Then you have people wearing vests and then walking into, again, crowded areas and letting it go. So there are a lot of things that can happen, and I personally believe that the United States is building a narrative for this to happen, so when it does, they can point fingers at Iran. But again, aside from that political nonsense and what I believe, you need to be ready to rock and roll. So you should definitely have your first aid kits on you at all times, especially tourniquets. Have tourniquets on you. Have a comprehensive trauma kit. Not a first aid kit, trauma kit. First aid kit is like for your kids. When you're at home and they cut their finger and you give them a Band-Aid, that's a first aid kit. You want a comprehensive mini portable trauma kit. These are the things that you should have on you. Obviously, if you're going to go with a company, go with Refuge Medical. Refuge Medical, yes, it's a little pricey, but it's worth it because they put in excellent gear, and especially their tourniquets. Also, they have like an online course that you can take to learn how to use tourniquets and things of that nature. So there's a lot. And then Skitty Medic, he also sells first aid kits as well. You could build your own if you want. Go online, look at the list, build it. If you are in the field, if you're in the medical field, you could build your own. But if you're a civilian who's never dealt with any of this kind of medical equipment, you should definitely go online to Refuge Medical and learn how to use the gear and take some of their courses, by the way. But still, you're going to have to be Johnny on the spot if something happens. Now, if you don't want to help, at the very least, have these medical kits for yourself should you get caught in the middle of one of these style attacks that might go down. Again, something could happen, but I'm going to err on the side of caution and be ready in case it gets bad. Now, it could be one lone dude doing his own thing, or it could be a group of guys doing a group thing and taking out a bunch of people. So you want to be ready for that regardless. Now, for those of you that live in states where you can carry, absolutely carry. Carry just in case something goes down and in case you are in a position to stop it. Just because you carry doesn't mean you're always in a position to stop something. You could be in an angle, a bad angle, where you can't get the guy because there are like a million people between you and him. Maybe the guy's hiding himself or he's concealed behind something really well and you can't get to him. You're not going to make a move on him, especially if he's has a high-powered rifle, if you will. You're not going to try to make a move, not with a 9mm. So, again, if you're in a position where you get to drop on them, absolutely go ahead and do that. But if you don't, try to get people out of there best you can and get yourself out of there if you're not looking to help. Because I know a lot of people are like, I'm not helping. Then don't. Leave. But just be ready for anything to happen. Listen, they could let something go and it can knock out our power grid system. I heard that excuse or that event possibly happening last week from Rubio, talking about they could launch a nuke, which is highly unlikely, that will set off an EMP, again, highly unlikely for Iran doing it, and then it can knock out our power grid and put us back into the 18th century, 17th century, depends on how you want to look at it. That can happen as well. We could have the mother of all blackouts. Now, bad enough here in New York City, we're going to have rolling blackouts this summer if we have weeks where we're in the triple digits. So clearly you should have stuff in your home ready to rock and roll, like a solar generator or a battery pack that can power some devices in your home. But again, that's a different discussion because that's blackout stuff that is probably, they said, going to happen this summer because of the amount of heat, the amount of people, the amount of buildings. The power grid here in New York City won't be able to handle it. So they think they're going to see rolling blackouts here. But should there be an outside attack where they take out our power source, you definitely need to be ready for it. And you should be ready for anything that might happen so that when it does, you're not sitting there going, oh man, what is this? You know exactly what it might be. You jump into action and you handle it accordingly. Again, panicking, flipping out, crying, carrying on, throw that shit out of the window. If something happens, handle it accordingly. Focus, try to see what's going on, stay focused, stay committed, and then move forward. Screaming, throwing papers in the air, and fucking running in a circle, that's not how we do things. You're going to either handle the situation or you're going to run away from the situation. Those are your only two options. You don't have any other options in between. Other than that, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.